Hello once again. I am Doc Broughton, and this is Gruesome Magazine. Tonight, we're reviewing VHS Halloween, the very next entry in the VHS found footage franchise, streaming on Shudder. Yes.
Gruesome Magazine.
Joining me tonight is my guest host, Paul Cardullo. Welcome back. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, Doc. Thanks for having me back, and it's always great to see you. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear.
Good to hear, he says, and I like that.
Well, I mean, it's still like I don't care what you said. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. Before we dive into our review, I just want to put a reminder out there that please like and subscribe. Every little one of these clicks helps us find more horror fans just like you. So that would be very, very cool. All right. So tonight we are talking about boom, VHS Halloween, a Shudder original. It is coming to Shudder on Friday, October 3rd, 2025. And Paul, as you may know, I'm a huge fan of found footage and a huge fan of this franchise. You, however, even though you enjoyed the first one, you haven't seen one since then, have you?
I don't know why, because I love anthology films, love found footage. I don't ask. You know, it gives me plenty of things to watch instead. So
There you go. You've got like I think 5 more in between these or maybe 4. I don't know. There's at least 5 or 6 of these. That would have been a good for me to look up before we started. How many are there? But yeah, I've enjoyed each and every one. And this one has a number of segments. I'm just going to go real quick through the directors and the segment names. The wrapping segment, if you will, is called Diet Phantasma, directed by Bryan and Ferguson. There's a segment called Fun Size, directed by Casper Kelly. Another called Home Haunt, directed by R.H. Norman. Kidprint, directed by Alex Ross Perry. Home Haunt is also directed by Michelle Pitt. Supra Infra is directed by Paco Plaza, who you may recognize from the Rec films. And Coochie Coo, directed by Anna Zlokovic. No, let me try that again, Anna. Anna Zlokovic is probably how it's pronounced. I may have triple butchered that, but you know, that's just my flaw. I own it. All right, the synopsis is, Paul. The synopsis is a collection of Halloween-themed videotapes unleashes a series of twisted, blood-soaked tales, turning trick-or-treat into a struggle for survival. That's accurate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
All right. So let's get into real quick. Let's get into our first impressions. What did you think going into this film overall? And then maybe we'll dive into each segment really briefly. But Paul, let us know what you thought.
I mean, it was a blast. I mean, as with any anthology, some are more successful than others, but definitely more hits and misses, and even like the one that maybe stumbled still was okay. So overall, an absolute blast. I think we had kind of talked. It's weird because I mean, of course, I've only seen one of them, but usually the wraparound segments are sort of a story dealing with finding the videotapes, right, or viewing the videotapes.
They slowly started steering away from that. Yeah, but
Did
that's
they?
how
Okay, yeah, because
that's how
this
it
is
did
like
start.
it just kind of there's no real connection there with that, but it was a blast. It was so much fun. So how about you, Doc? What do you think?
I concur, sir. I'm an easy target for this. I'll admit on two different or maybe 3 different points, but it delivered in my opinion, and I had a great time. It is a bit more. It's not as scary as previous ones have managed to get, but that's not a
Yeah,
problem here because it's a good gory Halloween fun. It does have a lot of every segment has something to do with Halloween. Some of them more so than others. The wraparound segment I'm struggling to find, but hey, whatever. Um, but I really did enjoy it, and some of them are. Yeah, it's a win. It is a win. Watch it on the 3rd of October. you'll have a good time. But let's talk about the segments. We'll start with Diet Phantasma, which is the wraparound. I may or may not go through these in order. I'm going to try,
Okay.
and you're going to correct me when I miss it. But
Yeah.
Diet Phantasma is the wraparound. This is of the segments. There's two weaker ones, and this one's one of the weaker ones, but only slightly. It is only because it's a little repetitive and doesn't really come to a conclusion, I think. But at the same time, it was gory, goofy, and fun. What about you? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem was they kind of had to put in it to fit the segments between it, right? They
Mm-hmm.
had to have a certain number, and I think it would have done better, like you said, with one or two of those segments removed or trimmed because they did seem repetitive. They did seem to have like an ending which showed up sort of like post credit, which would have worked better
Yes.
if they'd kind of fit that in.
Yep.
But otherwise, yeah,
I
there were
agree.
some really fun bits in it. But like you said, it does a little repetitive, but it was quite a few fun little bits in it though.
And yeah, gory.
Oh
And
yeah. Some nice
yeah,
goo.
no taboos have been left untouched.
No, there's some things that are like, nope, we're doing that. We're
Yep.
so,
Yep. All right. The next segment, if I remember correctly, is Coochie Coochie Coo,
yep,
right? Which is a pair of very annoying teens go up to a house and sneak in, and well, crazy shit happens. Paul,
yeah.
what did you think of this one?
I think annoying teens was the thing that yeah, they're sending it on like their Instagram and stuff, and they're just like,
Mm.
I was just like, oh, my wife would love this because she just would want them dead.
Mm-hmm.
No spoilers, and actually, well, anyway, they, it was fun. I think it had some really, and it had some interesting takes. Like they're like, okay, it's just kind of this. You're like, well, no, I don't think I've seen it done quite like that, and
Mm-hmm.
and some icky things that were in fun, icky way, like, ooh, that's kind of, not so much gore, but just kind of.
Yep. Well, kind of. I mean, well, yeah, it's
Well, there was
still
gore, but also, you
not.
know,
Yeah, it wasn't really the bloody gore that you get in the other ones.
yeah,
But at the same time, it is in a house. It is on Halloween, and once you get, of course, it's kind of one of those houses. Once you get in, you can't get out.
yeah,
And yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. And not at first, I was a bit worried
yeah,
because of the two protagonists. But once they get in the house, that subsides pretty quickly,
oh yeah,
and then it's just like, what is around the next corner, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it wraps up in a very satisfying.
it does. It really kind of ties together nicely. So yes, I agree. Like that one a lot.
All right, I think the next one is Ut Supra Sic Infra,
I think so. Yeah.
which is the Spanish one in Spain from Paco Plaza.
Yeah.
And it basically involves this weird event happens, and then one kid survives this horrifying thing. There is some footage involved, but basically the police are taking him back. He can't remember anything, so the police are taking him back to the scene of the crime in hopes that it will trigger memories. This one I enjoyed quite a bit. It's really probably it's the most professionally made of the bunch.
Yeah.
And it has some wonderful supernatural / gory segments. But the only thing I would say against it, and it's a slight, is it's not huge, but there are some things in here that are like you've got to let people make stupid decisions.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. It's a horror movie. They've got to do dumb things, right? So they don't know they're in a horror movie. They don't know they're in a horror movie, right?
That's true. What about you? What do you think of it?
Oh, I agree. I mean, it was really well done. It's one of those ones where it was fun without being silly fun. Like
Mhm.
a lot of these, I think, are kind of have a lot of silly fun, which kind of fits with Halloween. Sometimes you want that kind of. This wasn't so much silly, but it was still really fun and some really inventive. Like there was one particular sequence you and I were like, "That's really cool." That was just there's a
Yes.
really inventive thing, and the way they kind of shoot it is really well done. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun, creepy, and like you said, yeah, you go, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, well, you don't know you're in a horror movie, so I guess we'll
Yeah.
have to forgive you." Because, but yeah, that was really dumb.
But it was very satisfying.
Yes.
And yeah, that one segment was uh, very, very original. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed what they did there. The next one, if I have it right, is Fun Size,
Yes. Yes.
right? And for many, I think this is going to be the most popular one. Maybe not.
They
Maybe
keep
not.
messing up. There's two of them, and this would be one that I would think, yeah, would be.
Yeah, yeah, well, potentially three.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, sure.
yeah. So this one basically is. I don't even know where I want to go with that. I'm not
Without,
going to
with,
try
you
to.
want,
I'm not going
yeah,
to
because you
try to
want
explain it.
spoilers.
I
Yeah.
will. I will just. It takes. It starts with the take only one thing about putting the candy out and take only one, and what
Right,
happens if
because
you don't.
fun size
Yeah,
candy.
and what happens if you don't? If there were ghosts and ghoulies involved. So in this case, they're neither a ghost nor a ghoulie, but let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Uh, is it my turn to say if
Yeah. You
I
say.
had I had an extraordinarily fun time with this. It is very gory, but it's is it scary? Eh, maybe, but it's hilarious, and I had the best time with the segment. There's just there's some stuff in here that just like what are you doing? That is, what did you think of this?
Oh, I agree. This one was, I mean, it was fun size. It was super fun. And yeah, very silly, gory, but like gory though. There's some pretty gory things,
Very
but
gory.
also very silly. I was like, taste the rainbow. They didn't say that, but that's something I thought at one point. Yeah, you understand. But it was quite fun. I think that one I think you got really the feeling of this is a fun, gory, but fun and
Yep,
funny, very funny segment.
yep,
So yeah, I
yep.
love this one
Yeah, and yeah.
definitely.
So fun size is. I No, I was going to say something about Terrifier, but no, it's not on par.
No,
It's
no,
nowhere
no,
near on par with Terrifier, but it has the same kind of vibe to it, I would say.
I kind of without being, yeah, I could see that, but yeah,
I might be stretching it a bit on that one.
yeah, but it has some very over the top stuff that is fun.
Yes, yes, very much so. All right, so the next one is Kidprint,
Yeah,
and this one is about missing kids and basically, of course, these are VHS days, so it's 80s, so we don't have all the technology we have today. So it calls back on having all your kids get registered. So if something happens, you've got some details about them, and then it just goes wrong from there. Paul,
yes, Doc.
what was your impression of this
This one was a bit of a stumble. I mean, I think overall the story could have worked what they wanted to do with it, but I don't think the execution was great. I think they tried to expand it and they tried to make some things. They just added something that didn't fit. I think tonally to me, that just
one?
made it just like it was like you could have left that out and you could have trimmed it down. It could have been a little shorter. So it didn't quite work well. But like I said, I think the overall idea was interesting, but just the execution really didn't work for me. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel like it belongs in this particular
There
entry
you
for
go.
VHS.
Yeah, it
It
might fit elsewhere, but not with these. Yeah,
Right, because the other ones have a really um, kind of humoristic take on
yeah,
all the gore and everything, and this one doesn't.
yeah, yeah. This was a little.
And so it's kind of, in some ways it makes some of the things they do a little bit more impactful in a
Yeah,
way, but not in a good way sitting side by side with the other segments. So this one, yeah, didn't register with me the way I think they hoped it would.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care for it. I'm sorry to the makers of this film, but
Well, but
I think it's the vibe. I think it's just the vibe.
well, and I think, like you said, I think it's the segment itself, either as a standalone short or in a different anthology with a different vibe, I
Mhm.
think would work okay. It just doesn't work in, like I said, in this particular context,
Right, and
right?
especially following Fun Size, which
Yes,
was
very much so. It's like this
the opposite
tonal,
tone. Opposite
yeah,
tone,
and
yeah.
it didn't quite work. But again, I think that alone, it's standalone. Maybe it's better as its own thing.
Mhm.
So
Yep. And then our final segment is Home Hunt, which is basically the story of a family that's doing that does an annual haunted house, and there's a little bit of friction between the son as he's growing up, and everybody at school knows he's the haunted house kid. Doesn't want to do it, so but it's shortly that into the segment, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
But this is one where you're like, somebody does something very stupid, um, with motivation. At least
yeah,
this one, the character
yeah,
has the motivation to do something stupid.
yeah,
Um, it's still stupid, but you understand why he does it. So that helps. That helps a
yeah.
lot. But this one, I enjoyed so much. This one, I don't know if you're calling this one of the segments that could be the
Yeah,
favorite.
no, for me, it's between this and Fun Size. Yeah,
Right, right.
definitely.
Yeah, I would say that the one from Paco Plaza kind of,
Oh, that one's excellent too, but in terms of
yeah,
like
yeah,
my
but
personal kind of, yeah.
yeah, but this one, and it has a very surprising cameo. Look out for it. You won't miss it.
I know.
And if you, yeah, and that was a joy in and of itself,
Yeah,
and a real coup for the people who made the film. If you ask me. Um, and there's a Variety article about how that happened that I might put in the comments down below in the segment and the notes down below. But don't read it before you see the movie. Watch the movie first.
yeah, definitely.
There are some. Yeah, I think a good way to put it is that what if a haunted house attraction became haunted?
There you go. That's a good summary.
And it is equally gory and all the rest. Why don't you start off and let me know what you think of this film?
Oh, well, I
Or
mean,
the segment, rather.
I love this segment, and again, I think as it goes on, it's one of those things that kind of accelerates, and
Mhm.
as it accelerates, it gets even more fun, and they do some really fun bits, and there's just some really fun sequences, and there was one like I think you said at the end, it was like, oh, I want to see more of that.
Mhm.
There was which I think leave you
Oh
wanting
yes.
more.
Oh my God. That.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It
Oh.
sticks the landing. I think it really it has a good payoff. It good setup, good payoff, and actually the family you care about the family. So I mean, you do see like the son like kind of bonding more with you see that occurring during this. So that's actually kind of
Mhm.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really strong segment, really fun, and also
Yeah.
like surprising, some surprising gore. And again, some taboo breaking that was fun. You're like, oh,
Th-
well, I didn't think they would do that.
There is some of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's plenty of that throughout this movie, but
true, true.
but that's part of what VHS is. It kind of
Yeah,
does that from time to time. Yeah, this I agree with you 100%. It's also positioned very well in the segments. It's the last segment, so it
yeah,
not only does it stick the landing, it really helps the film itself stick the landing. Even though the last segment part of it doesn't quite. Well, actually, we don't get the wrapping segment around here. Like you said, it was post credits.
well, you get a post credit in it. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
doesn't really feel like it's a wrapping segment. Just they took a
right,
segment and split it up.
right,
Really.
right. But yeah, I I agree with you. Many people are going to come away loving this and having it be their favorite. I agree, and Fun Size as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a toss up. And then there's going to be some people that like the segment that the Kidprint, and not like the other segments. It's going to
That's
be
hey,
your preference, and
that's the
that
fun part with an anthology, right? If
absolutely.
you don't like
Absolutely.
one, like wait for the next segment.
All right, so that's each of the segments, and I hope you've got some idea of what's happening in those segments, or at least our take on each one of the segments. But let's go ahead and score the entire film as a whole all the segments and the wraparound taken into account. Paul, what is your score 1 to 5? 5 being the best.
I'm gonna give it a good solid 4. I was like tempted to go higher, but I'm like, no, I think it's a good solid 4, which is real fun. Highly recommend it. It's a perfect no. There's some bits that are, like I said, kind of, but overall, really fun. And as a whole, definitely a 4. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
How about you, Doc?
I'm going to give it 4.25. I
Yep.
am taking that. I was thinking the same thing, but
I was edging that way, but yeah,
I went ahead and went 4.25, and it's just because as far as I can recall, this one has much more of a lively feel to it. The tonally humorous, without being a straight out comedy, right? It's not a comedy by any stretch, but there are some really funny things that happen. And usually they involve gore, which is also really cool. What would be interesting is taking all these the films and ranking those, and then each segment and ranking those might be something interesting to do at some point. But yeah, it desperately wants to be in my top 10.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's going to be a fight between some of the others that also want to be in the top 10. Because I have a feeling the next 3 months of this year are going to give us some really strong entries.
Oh yeah,
really cool stuff coming. But anyway, there you go. That's our review of VHS Halloween. Check it out on Shudder starting October 3rd. Right?
Sounds good.
Thank you for joining me. I hope everybody had a lot of fun. Let's say good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.